Oh, we are back. Trevor's
Yes,
back. He's
I'm
not
back.
snowed in. Um,
No, free.
I didn't know since you broke some news on
Yeah,
Thanksgiving. I didn't
yeah,
know if
yeah.
you had retired.
No, no, I'm still in the game.
I didn't know if you were done. With kind of what
No,
you said, what you
no,
announced. I thought it was over with.
no. I'm in the game, baby. I'm all ready to go. It's
You
brought
gonna
a new. Oh,
you
do you want me?
but yeah,
I'm
I'm kind of
sorry,
like
I didn't
setting
know.
you up for
Sorry, yeah,
this.
you
Like
did,
you
you
made an
did.
announcement.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. I will be having a child May 18th. It is a girl, so that is very exciting. I am very excited, and we're gonna have to figure out how I can do this podcast off of like 2 hours of sleep, but we'll get it done.
yeah, we'll figure it out. Hey, you gotta be committed. Okay,
That's
have
right. That's
your
right.
child is backpack strapped on.
Yeah. We
Um,
might have to remember when I brought the lizard.
Yeah,
We
the
might have to
baby.
get like a baby
I
right
think
here.
he was pre-cursing there,
Yeah,
so pretty sure
yeah, yeah,
I don't know what was going on there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, creepy photo says, "Gentlemen, wish was under better circumstances. Cover image got me swindled." But yeah, I mean that's a big discussion. We will talk about the Notre Dame, Miami, BYU, that type of thing, kind of the playoff scenarios. As last night was the rankings, and basically the committee chairman said that non-idle teams are not, especially not locked in to where they're at. They can move or they can go down. I don't know if he was saying based off of like the conference championship weeks, teams that aren't playing can jump up or jump down. So I don't know exactly what he was saying. I told Nolan this, and I'll continue to say this. At the end of the day, it's also a TV show.
Yeah.
So they didn't want last night to be like, oh, it's locked, set in stone. Just depends on what BYU does. We don't have to watch Sunday. They're going to hype it up. They're going to continue to push it. I know Chris Fowler was on ESPN today, and he kept saying, he was on Dan Patrick, and he kept saying, everybody thinks ESPN, we have a hand in this, blah blah blah. And you do because you own the playoff, basically. You're the exclusive partner of it, and so yeah, you do have a say in it. Now, do I think they go and say, hey, we want this match of that? No, but they're going to do everything that they can to make you want to watch Sunday to figure out what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we'll dive into that. Some more hirings in college football. I would say some key assistants this time around. We had some guys go from G5 up to bigger jobs. We talked about Sunday. But these are some key assistants. And one, maybe for Ohio State, that could really hurt offensively, just depending on how it works out. We, of course, have the conference championship games. All pretty much have playoff indications, not based off of you win, you're in, you lose, you're out, or where your seating could be. We'll start with some NFL, but first we have another comment here. Trevor, blessed for you, man. Happy for you and your
Thank
family.
you,
Very
bro.
exciting.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Photo. Yeah, it's crazy time. Who would have thought? When I saw the news, I was shocked.
I know it was hard
Uh,
to keep it a secret. I'm like
but
terrible at that stuff, but I
but
tried.
hey, it's good. It worked out, and look at you now.
Yeah, on the podcast.
Do you want to talk about the Eagles since you weren't here Sunday?
Oh, I mean, not really. No, I'm just kidding. It was. I mean, it's kind of just been what I've. I mean, it was almost the worst version of what I've been talking about. Where it's kind of like inconsistency. I would say that like now we're due for a very consistent game, like
Yeah,
a positive consistency because we were consistent against the Bears. We were just terrible the
yeah,
whole
consistently
time.
bad.
Yeah, so we should be consistently good against the Chargers on Monday night. I mean, this team has everything it needs to succeed, and that it is just being held back by something. It is such. I mean, you can tell when there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes. I think a lot of doubt because like Saquon dropped like three
Yeah,
wide open passes. I mean, you can just tell that this is starting to eat away at people. Kevin Spatolo's house was egged,
yeah,
dude.
I
Like
saw that.
that. I mean, I know I talk crap about the dude, but hopefully he's okay and stuff. But hopefully the eggs didn't get him. No. But it's bad. It's really bad. We're at an all time low right now this season. But I mean, I think Justin Herbert potentially might not play Monday or is not playing one of the two, so that could help us. But I mean, we started off the year by beating some pretty good teams.
Yeah,
Not always in the most convincing fashion, but they were the best teams in the NFL. So um, we just need to get our. I mean, I think personally, someone needs to take over play calling. That's not Kevin Spatullo. You saw several teams do it this season. Dan Campbell and the Lions being one of them. Like I actually think that kind of backfired. But Nick Sirianni, he has experience calling plays and things like that. So I say we go there. Worst case scenario, we do like what we did like 2 or 3 years ago and just completely fumble the rest of the season, and we'll fire somebody. So
Well, I think there could be part with the Nick Sirianni thing not changing it, maybe because then he can blame that on him in the offseason and you can fire him so he keeps his job.
Yeah, because if Nick Sirianni starts calling plays and we're still bad, he's getting fired.
Yeah, it's not gonna. It's gonna be regardless because it's gonna be like you're the head coach. You can't fix the offense either. You're supposed to be that guy. So that's my thing. But me and Jerry talked about it Sunday. It felt like Kurt Herbstreit had answers for the Eagles offense, and the Eagles didn't. Like he would be like, he brought up like Jalen Hurts not running as much, like designed runs. Way down this year.
Yeah,
it just felt like he had better answers than the Eagles, and you had the Eagles on the sideline. All the coaches being like, they looked confused when they were looking at the tablets. Like it was the goofiest thing ever.
I really agree with like Lane Francis. He is like a new football. I mean, he's always like football. He's like the Bears, but he's like he has a new love with it now because the Bears are doing so well. And he asked me, he's like, "Does Jalen Hurts like run the ball?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's like one of the best." But then I was like, "When was the last time we saw like a designed run that wasn't a tush push or something?" So yeah, that is a perfect point. Him running the ball was one of our biggest strengths because. I mean, he was good enough runner that if it's 3rd and long, you surprise the defense with a quarterback designate or design run and you get a first down. Like he's a great runner. But again, like the Saquon Barkley thing still hasn't been figured out. No. And the thing that frustrates me is that has Saquon Barkley took that much of a step back? And it's like, I don't really think so. There has to be something with how we are scheming these runs because our offensive line is also the same guys. I mean, they're not as good as I would love them to. Jordan Mailata has been a little inconsistent this year. Lane Johnson obviously was hurt. So, yeah, we got a lot of stuff we got to fix. But, I mean, it's not impossible. Our record isn't terrible. So we can just pick it up, get a few wins, and we're right back at the top of the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like easy fixes. You think it's easy fixes. But the problem is like – I think the problem with the Bears was everybody was like thinking the Eagles were gonna just like come in and destroy the Bears. Like I didn't have much hope for the game myself as a Bears fan. I'm like, okay, we've been on a nice run. We're gonna play the Eagles, and it was like the Bears pretty much dominated the game, controlled the game, beat the Eagles doing what the Eagles want to do.
Yep.
And then so now it's like, whoa. Yeah, I think that made it worse. I think if it was any other team, maybe it wouldn't be as bad. But you have the Bears, where you're like up and coming, trying to figure things out, and they're able to run the ball. And yeah, like I said, it was just weird that the Bears were able to move the Eagles around, and the Eagles really weren't able to do much. And the Bears probably killed the tush push. That was
for real.
The best thing ever.
Yeah, yeah. And that's another thing that really adds on to how bad the game was for the Eagles is that usually when we have bad games offensively, we can look to the other side of the ball and go, well, hell, they had a hell of a day. Our defense was terrible. I mean, we let 2 guys put 100 rushing yards on us. And it's like the Eagles haven't fixed anything. Like the only thing that we have fixed is getting the ball to A.J. Brown more. That's all we've done.
Yeah, it really hasn't helped.
And that has done nothing. I think since that started, we have lost the game. We have lost. Since we've started focusing on getting A.J. Brown the ball, because like now Devontae Smith's numbers go down. And like it's frustrating. Nothing is getting fixed. I mean, I have full trust in our defense and Vic Fangio. I think that was just a bad showing for them against the Bears. I expect them to bounce back against the Chargers, especially if Justin Herbert isn't playing. I think they'll look really good. But that offense, there's something going on with that offense that is just awful.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell. I mean, we look at it, and it could change quickly in the NFL. It really can. All right, so we'll move on to the games from Sunday and Monday. I thought Broncos-Commanders was going to be a blowout, and it turned into be an overtime game.
Yeah.
I think that shows maybe about the Broncos. That's like, okay, you've had a lot of these close games. They are 10-2. You have to win on a great play on a 2-point conversion fail, or you have the ball, chance to score to win the game or tie the game against the Commanders, who are like 3-9. They're terrible. Marcus Mariota played. And then you have the Patriots there at 11-2, and you feel much better about them. You're like, oh, okay, like this team is legit. Mike Vrabel's brought them back. They're blowing teams out. My thing will say, I know it is a concern that the Broncos have close games, but they're winning them. But I would say it's just like I think UNLV in the 90s in basketball, they played a bunch of blowouts and they got the close games in the tournament and they ended up losing.
Yeah.
So it could be more beneficial for the Broncos, but it is concerning to be like, wow, you're 10-2, but are you good enough to overcome this stuff in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Patriots, new blood, Mike Vrabel, they're back.
Yeah, I like the point that you brought, like comparing them, because you do feel way better about that Patriots when they do Broncos. The Broncos were supposed to do to the Commanders what the Patriots did to the Giants. Yeah. Both Commanders and Giants, not great teams, and then the Patriots went out there and handled them. That's what the Broncos were supposed to do. But I do agree. If you are comfortable being in close games and finishing those games, it does say a lot for what you'll do in the playoffs. This game was crazy. It's just so hard with the NFL nowadays because all the games you think are going to be good end up not being that good, and then these games that are crappers you don't even plan on watching or end up really good. So, the Broncos, I admire their persistence and their ability to battle through adversity. But I mean, when you are a good team, you are supposed to dominate. And I think they've won enough close games for us to be like, yeah, you guys can win close games. Yeah. Like, not every game needs to be this way because, I mean, just the law of statistics, one of these ways, it's just not going to go your way. And they've been luckily on the good side of this. And I would say that's similar to the Eagles at the beginning of the season where they were on the good side of a lot of the really close games or whatever. But it's bound to bite you just statistically. So.
Yeah. So Creepy Photo says, how far do you think the Patriots will go? Kind of a fan of them being back, and Colts about to be back on the burner. I think with the AFC right now, the Patriots, I mean, it feels like we thought the new blood would be like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. But the new blood could be Bo Nix and Drake May. Yeah. You know what I mean? It could be one of those things. I think they could go far. I do.
Yeah, I don't know if we're talking like Super Bowl level because this team is really good. Yeah. They have everything that you need. I just think that there may be a little of inexperience. And I think when you get deep in the playoffs, that's why Tom Brady was so good for so long. And that's why Patrick Mahomes is so good. They don't get afraid of the bright lights. And I think Drake May and the other people on the team could get used to that sort of not being afraid of big moments. But it is something that when, if it's, Chiefs, Patriots in the AFC Championship, that Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, those guys, they have that edge. They have the edge. They've been there.
And who are you going to feel more comfortable with?
Right. And now, so like if I took the Patriots and the Chiefs and I had said they play this Sunday, I would be like, the Patriots are probably going to win this game. Yeah. Now we changed that to January. I go, oh, I don't know, man. The Chiefs, they've been here, they've done this. So I think the Patriots are probably a top 3 or 5 team in the NFL right now. I think they might be at the top of the AFC. That's just based off talent and all those things. But we know when the playoffs come around, there's a different thing that happens.
I will say for the Patriots, they have inexperience like from players, but having Mike Vrabel is a big step up. You know what I mean? It's not like the Bears being in the situation they're in is first in the NFC where you're like, okay, young team, young head coach. The Patriots are a young team, first in the AFC, but they have Mike Vrabel, who's been there in the AFC Championship game, been in big games. So, it will be interesting moving forward. But look, they play the Bills again in a couple of weeks. That will be another big test for them. But it will just be interesting to see. But like I said, it is funny to think we thought the new blood in the AFC would be like Lamar and Josh Allen finally make the Super Bowl, and then you have these two guys coming out of nowhere and being like, hey, we're pretty good too.
Yeah, well, and then I was just looking because Mark Andrews just got a new deal, or about an hour ago he got a new deal.
I saw that. I don't understand that.
Yeah, me neither. But because Isaiah Likely is a very good tight end. Mark Andrews is getting up there a little bit. But I was looking and I didn't realize this. TJ Hawkinson is like a top 5 paid tight end in the NFL.
Yeah, but he doesn't. Well, he has got a terrible quarterback in Jaden.
Yeah.
That's Justin Jefferson. How that goes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that team is because their defense is decent. Yeah, they got a good team. JJ McCarthy is awful.
Yeah, and then he doesn't play, and they have some undrafted guy who shouldn't even be in the NFL.
It's like literally they're keeping JJ McCarthy off the field just to be like, we have to try something else.
Well, he was the one that said he was hurt when they got on the plane ride back. He was the one that was like, hey guys, like my head hurts, like I think I have a concussion, blah 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 blah. And they were like, okay. And then it turned out he had a concussion and he had to go to pro. He was the one that was like,
That is
hey
bad.
guys.
I mean, you remember hearing the stories of like Julian Edelman
Yeah.
and like being like they're gonna ask and Danny Amendola, they're gonna ask you what quarter it is. It's the third quarter. The scores like like just like
Yeah.
and they're like,
Oh, it's
pretend like
like
you hurt your knee.
Heinz Ward talked about it where he's like, yeah, you'd like get hit in the head, you'd come to the sideline and be like, oh, what hurts? You're like, my ankle.
Yeah.
Like my
Because those are
ankle.
guys who wanted to be on the field.
Yeah, so JJ McCarthy's a little different breed. Creepy Photo says, great point, Trevor. You're evolving right in front of our eyes. Dad upgrade got you spitting those facts. Love to see it. And he said that JJ McCarthy, the word for him is ass.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get into college football now. A lot to discuss here. Me and Jerry went through a lot of coaching hires Sunday. The big one, Lane Kiffin. What's your thoughts on that? How that all went down.
Dude, there is so when that was like going through, like all that stuff was happening, like Saturday night, Sunday morning, I was like, this is the craziest thing that I think I've ever seen. Like, because Brian Kelly was crazy. That whole thing was crazy. But this is a different level, I think. One, Ole Miss telling Lane Kiffin that it's basically an ultimatum, right? You cannot coach this team in the playoff. Two, Lane Kiffin being like, if you are on my coaching staff and you want to coach with me at LSU, you are coming with me right now. Dude, I hope LSU and Ole Miss play each other next season. I don't know if
they're a big rival. They play each other. That's a big rivalry.
I cannot wait for that game. I hope it's at Ole Miss.
It is at Ole Miss.
Oh my God, dude. It just writes itself. But no, the whole Lane Kiffin thing, and then he's also been kind of weird about it too, where he's like, I didn't do it for the money, and then they're like, what did Ole Miss have, or what does LSU have that Ole Miss doesn't? And he just goes, I don't know.
He goes, like, his answer is just it's Ole Miss, or it's LSU.
Yeah, I mean, like
he goes, it's different.
Yeah, and it is different. I agree with that, and I have been bouncing back and forth. And who do I blame more, LSU or I'm sorry, Lane Kiffin or Ole Miss? That's who I've been bouncing. I don't know. I don't know who's to blame for this. LSU is a once in a lifetime job. I mean, if Lane Kiffin goes there and coaches for the next 15 years or whatever, which I doubt.
He'll be there.
Yeah, I doubt. Yeah, but like if. Those jobs don't come up all the time because you have guys like Les Miles and, people who stay there for a little bit. And when you miss that time period, you miss that time to go, oh, I'm going to go be the LSU head coach. So if he sits there and goes, I'll go stay at Ole Miss for another season, see what that opportunity's gone. Yeah. And Ole Miss could be terrible next year. And then now he has no LSU.
Yeah. So, I mean, I also think, and I said it Sunday, he wanted to get back to the top of the mountain. He had the chance at USC, and at the time, he was a super young coach. He talked about that in his press conference. He was like, to get that job at the age I did was crazy.
Yeah.
And then the sanctions that were there at the time, like when he got hired, he didn't know that all the Pete Carroll stuff was happening. Then you lose scholarships, all the stuff that went down. He did have a winning record. He gets fired on the tarmac. Kind of has to reinvent himself, so he is much older now, but he wanted to get back to the top. LSU was a top 5 job. USC was a top 5 job at the time. He wanted to get back. And this was his chance to get back to the top in Lane fashion. Of course, it happened in the worst way possible. I don't know. It's so funny to me that like he just, I don't know what it is about him. It's just everywhere. Like the Tennessee exit was terrible.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna bring the media in and tell them and then leave, and everybody's mad. They're burning couches. Gets fired on a tarmac. He's leaving Ole Miss. They're trying to swerve him off the road, he said, on the way to the airport. It's a mess. But that's Lane. That's what you get. But
so when you guys said, I can't remember if you did or Jerry did, talking about like his decision was kind of based on the Iron Bowl. Or they were watching the Iron Bowl?
It was, I think it was based off of would it be delayed another week? Because if Auburn would have won, then Ole Miss would have been in the SEC championship. And I think he would have delayed it another week.
Gotcha.
Is what I thought. But it sounds like Ole Miss wasn't going to let him coach. Because it sounded like he told them Saturday that he was leaving for LSU. And it basically sounded like he was still fighting to coach. And then it turned out that they were like, no, you're not. Now there's corresponding stuff between him and Keith Carter, the AD, now players, kind of what's happening. I don't know. I mean, look, I get it's a new age of college football and everything it is, but it's LSU compared to Ole Miss. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's that. Now, it does suck that he leads the team in the playoff. So that's interesting, but it didn't really hurt Ole Miss. And rankings-wise, will it hurt them on the field? Of course. Everybody's going to want to play that team now.
And I heard that the defense coordinator who's taken the head coach job, that's like permanent now.
Yep,
like he will be the head coach.
Yeah. So Pete Golding, they announced Sunday that he was going to be the head coach.
Okay.
They said, hey, because it was talked about he would be an interim, and then everybody started walking out and told the media it's the Pete Golding era.
Yeah.
So that's done, and then it does look like Charlie Weiss Jr. He is going to LSU. He was on the plane.
Wow.
But he's going to go back and be the OC for the playoff. So Lane is allowing him to do that.
Well, and the thing that is crazy to me is that Ole Miss tried to really paint Lane Kiffin as the bad guy.
Well, he is and he isn't. What hurts him is the calendar, but
right.
It's one of those where he could have told like LSU, hey, I'm coming. I'm going to coach my team. You either respect that or you don't.
Right. And I would say that, like, hey, like Ole Miss doesn't lose out on anything recruiting wise, I would say, because Pete Golding is still there.
Yeah.
Like, he is the head coach now. So, like, he gets to make those recruiting decisions and stuff. LSU would be the one that would probably miss out on some recruiting, but they're not the one that made the ultimatum. It was, what I mean?
I think the Ole Miss problem was, it was one, it's in the SEC. Two, it's at LSU, who they view as a rival.
Yeah.
And three, and it's going to happen regardless. So this is the goofy argument to me. It's like, oh, Lane could still be there talking to guys, hey, come to LSU.
Yeah.
He's going to say that regardless. If a guy wants
Right.
to go with him to LSU, they're going to go with him to LSU. It doesn't matter if he's in the building another 2 weeks
Right.
or not. You know what I mean? It's like that whole narrative to me is goofy, because it's like, oh, he can sit there and he's going to destroy Ole Miss's roster. But he could go do that right now if he wanted to, or in 2 weeks when the transfer. So that's goofy to me to be like, oh, he's going to do this and that. It just came down to Ole Miss and Keith Carter running them.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's like, I cannot live here for how many other years I'm going to be the AD and allow you to coach here and at LSU at the same time and have the people be like, this is okay.
Yeah.
And the whole, and then it turns to everybody to be like, all right, we hate Lane. You can slide in Pete Golding, which I think was a panic hire. And everybody's like, okay, let's go with this. Rah, rah, root, And then we'll look back and be like, Lane Kiffin destroyed Ole Miss football.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of being like, so it's one of those things. They're going to paint it in a way to, hate on Lane and do it that way. Now, was it smooth? No, it was not. It should have been handled differently. If I'm him, I tell LSU, hey, I'm going to coach this team. I'm coming. I wouldn't have told Ole Miss I'm leaving yet, but I've been like, hey, slowly got to tell LSU, hey, I am going to accept it, but I want to coach this team first and get that done and over with, and then I'll figure out moving forward. But, I don't know. It's one of those things. It's goofy, wacky.
It's crazy, man.
It's Lane
That
Kiffin.
was so crazy.
That's just what it is.
What a smusher.
I think he's talking about, Charlie Weiss is all he needed to do. Yeah, Charlie Weiss Jr., of course. Hey, he kept his word. He was on the plane, got the job at LSU, and then Lane is like, hey, I'll let you come back. So it was interesting. But we'll see.
So there are two things I'm interested in now is, how does Ole Miss do for the rest of the season? Will there be a point where, like, wow, they really do miss Lane Kiffin? I don't know. And then two, when the transfer portal opens up, how many guys are going to leave Ole Miss and go to LSU? Or, I mean, like, is there not going to be that many guys? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's really exciting.
It'll be interesting. I would expect out of all the guys to go, it'd be Quan Lacey, the running back. Just personally, I would think that he'd want to go, but he could like Ole Miss. I don't know. I know that LSU had a wide receiver commit that flipped to Ole Miss.
Wow.
Today being national, he's a 3-star, but it was funny.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but my thing is, I think Lane's going to be successful at LSU. I don't know if he wins a national title, but I think he wins games. He's proven it at Ole Miss. I think he can do it at LSU. So we'll see, but it is very goofy. But yeah, it will be interesting to see how much he meant to Ole Miss with them in the playoff and most likely hosting a playoff game.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. So
yeah.
All right, let's get on to the other coaching hirings that have happened so far. Kentucky fired their coach, Mark Stoops, late Sunday night. Big buyout. He'd been there forever. He'd been talked about for the A&M job, other jobs around the country, but ends up being fired at Kentucky. They're hiring Will Stein, Oregon offensive coordinator. He's from Louisville, played at Louisville, which is a rival of Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and he's 36.
Young
So
guy.
they're going with Kentucky bluegrass roots to get him. The next one's interesting because he was brought up in the Penn State talks. UCLA is hiring James Madison's coach, Bob Chesney.
Oh, wow.
He's been at JMU for 2 years. He's 20-5. And they have a shot at the playoff, depending on what Duke does in the ACC championship game. People look at him as the next Kurt Cignetti based off of he's been at a bunch of different programs, has been able to turn them around to smaller route, then goes to James Madison, follows right behind Kurt Cignetti, does well, continues it on. And so, now they're looking.
Yeah,
now he's looking at
UCLA,
which is interesting. UCLA, I've said it before, is they have some issues when it comes to football and how they kind of fund it and do that thing. So it seems like he wants the backing, and he has the backing there, especially if Penn State was a potential option. I don't know how serious it was, but it was a potential option.
I mean, would we call UCLA more of a basketball school?
Yeah, they're easily a basketball school.
So, I mean, is he literally following the Kurt Cignetti?
It seems very like this guy wants to be Kurt Cignetti. He's much younger, but he wants to be
Kurt Cignetti. Yeah, that's crazy.
Cal is hiring Tosh Lubo. It's Lupo.
I think this is the only dude that I knew because he used to be at Alabama, right?
Yeah, he was at he's the current defensive coordinator at Oregon.
Right.
So Oregon's going to lose both their coordinators.
That's crazy.
Which would be interesting. He is a Cal grad. His first coaching job was a defensive line coach at Cal. He was a DC at Alabama years ago, and then went to the NFL, and then came back to college in 2020 to be at Oregon. He's looked at as an elite recruiter, can kind of bring guys in, going back to his alma mater in Cal. But yeah, so he was at Alabama years ago, almost like 10 years ago as a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, because I was watching a video and it was talking about all like Kirby Smart and Dan Lanning and all those guys, how they all kind of brand. It's like the Saban tree or whatever.
Yeah, that team from Alabama was crazy, and it's very similar to Saban's LSU coaching tree they had. So a lot of those guys become head coaches. He's another one on that line that's like has become a head coach. So yeah, he goes to Cal, which would be very interesting. This is, I think, the most interesting one, just based off of there's some people that thought this guy could be hired at Penn State, and he's going to South Florida. So this is very interesting. Brian Hartline, 39-year-old. He's offensive coordinator and wide receiver coach at Ohio State. He is, of course, the guy that's being credited for turning Ohio State into wide receiver U over the past half a decade. He played for the Dolphins for 5 years, so he has South Florida ties. That whole thing, elite recruiter without a doubt. And so this is interesting because 5-star wide receiver Chris Henry Jr., who I think is from Southern California, he's been a verbal commit to Ohio State for like the entire year, long time. National Signing Day is today. He has yet to sign his letter of intent to go to Ohio State. And he has recently came out and said with the coaching changes, he's kind of reevaluating things and now looking at USC, Oregon, and Ohio State.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, he's going to USF. No, I was like, that's crazy.
So what I saw I did some Instagram diving. When I heard about this, he posted a hat of USC, Oregon, and Ohio State.
Okay. Yeah, those are all.
Those are all the big schools. But it is interesting, though, for Ohio State to potentially be, I think he's like the number 2 or 3 overall wide receiver.
Wow.
You've had this pipeline of these guys.
Right.
Does it stop with Brian Hartline? Does it not? It'll be interesting. I also, when I was looking at photos of Brian Hartline, because I remember when he was a wide receiver, he was very skinny. Now he's like jacked. He looks almost like a strength and conditioning coach. He has he has a whole like sleeve tat on his arm. Like he looks terrifying.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
So it'll be very interesting. And then there's a name right here that will bring you back about 10, 12 years in college football. Colin Klein is looking like he's going to go to his alma mater at Kansas State. Chris Kleiman is retiring from coaching, retiring from Kansas State. Kleiman was 54 and 34 at Kansas State. He'd been there quite a few years. And now former Kansas State quarterback and current Texas A&M offensive coordinator Colin Klein is expected to be hired. Klein is 36 years old, and he's been at A&M for the last 2 years, and he was at Kansas State before that, previously coaching. So he's a Heisman finalist, Colin Klein.
Right? Yeah. Crazy.
So do you remember who he was up against for in the Heisman that year?
What year was it?
Want to say 2012. We were together for the announcement.
It was Manti Te'o?
Manti Te'o and Johnny Manziel.
And Johnny Manziel, yeah. Oh,
Colin Klein was the other guy there.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Kansas State was like 11-1. If they would have been 12-0, they would have went to the BCS against Notre Dame.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I remember always accidentally saying Calvin Klein.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah,
so yeah, it's looking like he's going to go back. He's 36. If anybody knows Kansas State, it's him. He's a good young offensive mind. Has done well at Texas A&M, so it'll be interesting to see. Kansas State had kind of a disappointing year this year at 6-6. With some hype. Some people thought they'd be in the playoff, that being me. Didn't quite work out too well, so their coach retires. So, yeah, I mean, these, other than Chesney, these are all assistant routes. It's something different than what we've seen so far. But me and Jerry talked about it. It's getting to that point for new big names to become a thing and get head coaching opportunities, and you got to start somewhere. And these guys are maybe the next, maybe they're the next group that we'll be talking about in 5 years. Be like, can they go to an LSU or not? Because you talk about names you could get. Who knows? Now this brings into what the hell's Penn State doing? I have some recruiting stuff for Penn State based off of today's National Signing Day. So this is funny. So James Franklin's now Virginia Tech's coach, right?
Yep.
Virginia Tech is 22nd in the country in recruiting rankings.
Wow.
Penn State is 150th.
Oh, my gosh.
You want to know who they're behind?
Who?
Teams like McNeese and South Dakota State.
Oh. So, what is it? Not landing your guy?
Having a coach when the early signing days come. Like, this is why Lane Kiffin left so early, right? It's like, you need to be there for National Signing Day to get your guys signed to do all that thing. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys that flipped from Penn State to Virginia Tech.
Oh my gosh! Well, did they? Why are they waiting so long to find a coach? Is kind of.
I think that their first play was Kurt Cignetti. They said we're going to go all in. We're going to hire the SIG, and then he stayed in Indiana. And then I think that they've maybe made some calls and had some choice. I think the Chesney guy was somebody they liked. He went to UCLA. They tried to get Kalani Sitake. Crumble Cookie changed that real quick. BYU can thank me. I helped create Crumble Cookie into what
Yeah.
So that happened. I think they were close, and that was all happening yesterday. It's like, oh, my God, can they get Kalani Sitake, blah, blah, blah. He ends up going back to BYU. Now, so Jeff Brom, too. I told you guys that about a month ago. He was offered the job and turned it down to stay at Louisville.
Yeah.
That was official today, that he officially turned the job down. So he was offered the job. I told you guys about a month ago that somebody said that he was like the top guy on their list. He's gone. He left it. So he's staying at Louisville. Some people believe they're waiting for a coach that's maybe coaching this weekend.
You know the coach?
People think they know the coach potentially. And that is maybe Kalen DeBoer at Alabama.
Oh, my gosh.
That's what some people are saying.
Whoa, that would be crazy.
I don't know if it'll happen. I don't know. It's just what some people are saying, like, hey, keep an eye open or an eye for.
Why do you think that is? Why would that be something that could happen?
I think he's from like Midwestern ties. I think they're at the point where they're trying to make a swing, a big splash. maybe you can say, hey, look at, you're good at Alabama and you get hated on and people don't like you. And a lady said if she won the Powerball, she was going to buy out your contract. So basically, you have him and then Brian Daboll's in there as well. And Brian Daboll's kind of looked at as a favorite for the job.
I could see that. That makes more sense to me. He's a good coach. The Giants organization is just kind of a nightmare. But that Kalen DeBoer thing, that would blow my mind. And that just shows Lane Kiffin, like, hey, yeah, you got the best job in the country. Maybe that's not what you want.
It's just crazy how they're going down the line for all these guys. Oh, Manny Diaz could be another one from Duke. He was the defense coordinator there for a year before he went to Duke to be the head coach. So he's also another guy who's coaching this weekend that could be brought up. But those three names are really being brought up as like. So basically, what I think it feels like if Kalen DeBoer says no, Manny Diaz says no, Brian Daboll's gonna be the hire.
Yeah, I think that because what's Brian Daboll going to go do? You know what I mean? Like
my issue with Brian Daboll is it feels exactly like Bill O'Brien.
Yeah,
where they got Bill O'Brien, he was supposed to rebuild the program, bring it back to prominence. He was there 1 year and went back to the NFL.
Yeah.
Now, nobody in the NFL is going to hire Brian Daboll after a year at Penn State, but maybe he turns Penn State around in like 3 years and does a really, they're really good, maybe make playoff a couple times. Then does he dip? It'd be interesting. It just seems like everybody they've tried to go after hasn't worked. Now they're trying even harder. And, you never know. I mean, Kalen DeBoer could say, yeah, I've tried this Alabama thing and I don't like it.
That would be crazy.
I'd like to
But every time I see Ohio State play, I'm reminded of the fact that like they have like their offense has to play against Matt Patricia, which is like seems so unfair to like a guy who gave like Peyton Manning fits is now coaching against like 18-year-old kids and they're like, figure this defense out, buddy. I don't know. It just blows my mind sometimes. Of like Brian Daboll. I mean, he was coaching in the NFL and now he's gonna, coach 18-year-old kids. I mean, obviously the phenomenal talents or whatever, but like it's crazy. Like to me, that's what happened.
He's the Mr. Pencil. I mean, that's who he is.
Yeah, he is Mr.
All right,
Pencil.
Creepy Photo says definitely we're an advocate for the crumble, Caleb. Yeah, you should at least get. Yeah, I should at least get some money for that. Penn State on top, 27-14, little bro. Who is he referring to as little bro?
27-24. What was that?
I don't know what he's referring to.
Was that the score to the UCLA game?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what he's talking about when he says 27-24, little bro.
Well, UCLA, it might have been the score to when UCLA beat Penn State.
Yeah, but he's a Penn State fan. He's
Penn State oh, yeah. So maybe it was the Indiana.
Oh, that's what ND beat Penn State.
Oh, or was it when Indiana?
No, I'm confused with the Penn State on top, little bro. Like, I don't know. I thought the only little bro for Penn State was like Pittsburgh or West Virginia.
Yeah. Or the kids in the locker room.
Okay. I don't know. I'm a little confused at this point. This guy threw me off here. I don't know who he's calling little bro. All right.
The Sandusky boys.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yeah. Great. We'll take a pause for station identification. Hopefully nobody ever heard that. All right. We had our precursor to just take a second here, people. We had our precursor to the final playoff rankings last night. Clearly, the title of the video is going to get a lot of people excited. I'll start this conversation by saying, as a Notre Dame fan, if we don't make it, I completely understand. We didn't win the game we were supposed to against Miami. We didn't win the game we were supposed to against Texas A&M. So if we don't make it, I understand. My problem is if BYU were to lose and Miami and Notre Dame are sitting there next to each other, why not jump Miami yesterday? Why wait till Sunday? That's my only argument. That's where I say Notre Dame would get screwed at this point. Don't make us have the false hope that we may be in, and then you're going to swap it on Sunday. Because to me, if you don't have the guts to do it on Sunday or on Tuesday, then don't do it at all.
I agree. That makes perfect sense to me. yeah, if you're gonna put Miami above Notre Dame, why wait till BYU loses? I totally agree. I don't know. This will tell us a lot about how the committee thinks.
And it
I
was.
mean, is it overall the season? Is it that's how UFC fights go, right? You don't judge it by who's winning the fight at the end. You judge it by who won all 5 periods.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they think about it. I think the best teams at the moment should be in the college football playoff. So I would say I would put Notre Dame over Miami. But Miami probably statistically had a better – I mean, take Miami's losses, and compare them to Notre Dame's losses. I understand that Miami beat Notre Dame, but look at who Miami lost to. It's not great. Like Louisville and things like it's not great. So, my argument is that Notre Dame I get it. Like you said, it makes sense why they wouldn't be in. I can see the math. It works out. But if I was on the committee, I would put Notre Dame in over Miami, and that is going to cause an entire ruckus. But
my problem too is, I value head to head. So if you're gonna, it's been the committee's fault for not having. If you're going to value head to head, and you say you value head to head, and you want that to be a precursor for the sport, and you believe that you need head to head to have a successful college football, season and everything, and you want it to be validated, and you want the best teams to play each other, then you have to value head to head. Well, the committee hasn't done that all year, so why start it now, right? And I think that's going to be the problem. And now it may cause people not to schedule tougher games out of conference, which I think that's just dumb to begin with. But it's one of those things. My thing is, and this is where I don't think a lot of people are talking about it because they're just glossing over the point. But if BYU loses in the Big 12 championship game, why would you drop them when you're not going to drop Indiana, who could lose, or Ohio State, Georgia or Alabama? You're not going to drop them out. Why? And you're not going to drop Texas Tech out. So why would you even move BYU at all?
Right. Yeah.
Because the argument is, if BYU loses, Miami and Notre Dame are going to be right next to each other, and that's where they think head-to-head is going to come into play. But why are you going to drop BYU for playing another game at all?
Yeah.
To me, if you think they're 11, they're 11. And they'll have 2 losses, which then compared to Miami, who also has 2 losses, and compared to Notre Dame, who has 2 losses.
And compared to Alabama, who at the time could potentially have 3 losses.
Yeah. I mean, that's where it gets into a whole nother thing. If you look at it, you see how it goes. That's my thing. No one's talked about it. Is we just automatically think if BYU loses, they're dropping to at least 15.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it is so goofy how you look at it, you build it up, It's almost like, because if Alabama loses, they're staying in. That's why we moved them up to 9 to keep them in. This is exactly what this comment says. I hate how they explain Bama jumping ND, not saying Bama doesn't have a better strength of record, but the gutsy road win doesn't make sense. Yeah, it is goofy. They basically should have just said, hey, we're not going to hurt teams for playing in conference championship games if they're ranked in our playoffs. That's why we're putting up Alabama at 9. And then we'll move Notre Dame down, and they'll be on the bubble.
Because I mean, like in my mind, if BYU loses and that drops them, how can you say that Alabama deserves to be in the college football playoff with 3 losses if they lose to Georgia? It just doesn't make sense to me. I think that's a really good argument. It's crazy.
Here's my argument for Miami, and like I said, head-to-head matters. If you're going to put Miami in over Notre Dame, you should have did it this weekend. If they do it, I get it. Whatever. But Miami couldn't even make it to the ACC championship game. We have a 7-5 Duke team.
Yeah.
You're telling me that team deserves to be in the playoff? They couldn't even make it to their title game.
Right.
Conference.
Yeah, and that's
a 7-5 team sitting in there.
Yeah. And that's what I think the really important part about the playoff committee is that people try to make it like a math equation where this equals this all the time. But I think the committee is really it's like an art. You have to just know it when you see it. And I think that's where Notre Dame would benefit is by looking at how Notre Dame finished the rest of their season. And yes, like they don't have the hardest schedule in the country. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But what they did to teams that were bad was
What
beat
you're
them by
supposed to
60
do.
points. Yeah,
Yeah, 10 straight wins by double digits.
right, exactly. So,
And 2 losses by 4 points.
it can't just be a math equation, or else anybody could do it. A monkey could do it. You just plug in the equation and then you go. It has to be people who understand how football works, and the end goal should be getting the top 12 people into the college the top 12 teams in the college football playoff. That should be the end goal.
I will say what the committee really wants is BYU to beat Texas Tech, and you don't even have to have the argument; they're both out.
Right? Yeah.
That's exactly what the committee wants to happen. Because that would make their job way easier.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it. You don't even have to bring the discussions in. The easiest way is if BYU were to lose to Texas Tech, and you keep Notre Dame in, is we just viewed Notre Dame as a better team as of right now. We've thought that in every ranking we've had, which I'm pretty sure Notre Dame has been ahead of Miami in every ranking that they've had. You just say that. We believe Notre Dame's a better team. We know they played head-to-head. We feel like if they were to play right now, Notre Dame were to win. And this is where I talk about you bring in Vegas on a couple of these, because if Vegas did the lines in some of these games, that would help you do some seeding things.
Yeah.
And it would help you with certain things and how it's done. And, now you have Texas at 13 arguing at 9-3. Don't lose to Florida. You have an actual discussion.
Right.
Vanderbilt, don't lose to a 9-3 Texas team. Then you have a discussion.
Yeah.
So out of all these teams, I mean, I'm sitting there and I'm BYU. I honestly would be irritated that I'm behind Oklahoma, Alabama, Notre Dame, because they're 11-1 with their only loss to the number 4 team in the country.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Now they got blown out, but that's your only loss.
I agree. Yeah.
It's one of those things. I mean, it's just goofy the way that they have it.
And I would argue that overall, now this may be controversial, but I would argue overall that the Big 12 is better than the ACC.
Oh, that's not even an argument.
Yes.
Question.
Okay. So 11
the committee
1.
tells you that with the 4,
Right,
11,
right.
and 15 team in the country. The committee tells you. In Arizona at 18.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. It's like
their 4th highest ranked team is almost ahead of the 2nd highest ranked team in the ACC.
And the what I'm getting at though is that like my one loss in the Big 12 is just a hair better than Miami's 2 losses in the ACC. I would say that Miami's losses are significantly worse, obviously, than BYU's, because BYU lost to the number 4 team in the country. So yeah, I there is a lot of discussion. It is so crazy. How did it end up like this?
Well, it's one of those things. Is the problem is there's no set criteria for how you put teams in. You don't.
Yeah.
It's not like the NFL where we only have 32 teams and 7 teams make the playoff based on your record. Tiebreakers, you get in. College football is different. We don't have that. It's not like anything else. You have 130 some teams that have the opportunity. We've always done 25. We did 2. Then we did 4. Now we've done 12. We'll probably do 16 next. And now I guarantee we get into 24 and there'll be playing games and all of this. We'll get rid of the conference championship, which to me, if you're not, I mean, this is the thing too. If you're not going to ding teams for playing in a conference, and I get making to a conference championship is tough. There's no doubt about it. Getting there is tough. But if you're not going to ding every team the same based off of a loss in a conference championship game, then why are we doing it anyways?
Yeah. Oh, and then I think that too would like benefit Notre Dame all the time, right? They would never have to play in a conference championship because they're not in a conference. So if we're dinging people for losing in conference championships, well, then Notre Dame is just always going to reign superior because they don't have to play that next game.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Just it really when they were like when they asked him, because last year's committee chair said that.
Uh-oh.
Are you down?
Are you down or am I down?
I think I'm good to go. Are you?
I think you're good now.
All right, cool. Did this on Sunday. It's doing this late. I think the snow has killed my Wi-Fi. Which was once good Wi-Fi is killing me. No, so basically last year's committee chair had said that teams that didn't play they were locked in where they were. Unless the conference championship, but it was different last year because you had the top 4 conference champions, no matter what, got the buys. then the fifth. You know what I mean? So it was different last year.
Mm.
You know, but they said no matter if a team played or not. So like if Miami, Notre Dame were in last year's system based off of what they did last year, Miami couldn't jump Notre Dame. It was set Tuesday. Now
Right.
this guy comes on Tuesday and says idle teams could move up or down depending on what happens.
Mm.
So I don't
Oh
know
my
if I don't
gosh.
know, and then that opens the floodgate to make you think, well, okay, Miami could then jump Notre Dame, or is he talking about the teams that don't play? Could they jump teams that lose in the conference championship games and move down or up? You know, based off of what happens.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I will start it like I will end it like I started it. It's a TV show. They want us to watch Sunday. They need us to watch Sunday. Tuesday was not going to be the final rankings, the final end all be all. They want to keep Miami a discussion. They want to keep Notre Dame a discussion. I think it is close. I think at the end of the day, Miami is going to jump Notre Dame. I truly believe that. I think that they'll get them next to each other and they'll say, well, Miami beat them. We'll have to put them in. What they want, though, is they want BYU to win, and neither of them get in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. But at the end of the day, it is a TV show. This is what they want. This is how they want it to be. We'll do this. We'll get to some comments here. CFP committee really screwed ND, and people still love to say the committee is biased towards ND. It's Notre Dame. I mean, that's the sad part about it. It doesn't help when you're Notre Dame in this situation. The recency bias being able to go to the championship game, I think, is what's helping Notre Dame here. If this was Notre Dame with Brian Kelly, I think Miami's ahead of them all day of the week. That's honest. You can ask that committee that, and they would tell you that. I heard that if Oregon and Tulane play, the line would be like, yeah. I mean, if Virginia gets in, they're going to at least be a 2-touchdown underdog to whoever they play.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Even if that is Ole Miss without their coach.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
That's just where we're at with it. So we'll find out Tuesday. Tuesday at noon will be the rankings will come out officially. We'll see. I don't think Notre Dame's fully in. There are people that believe since Notre Dame's ranked ahead this week or Tuesday that they'll stay ranked ahead. I think the committee is going to flip it at the end of it, and that's just what I think. I think Miami will get in, and Notre Dame will probably be in the Pop-Tart Bowl, which is fine. I get it. We lost two. We lost 2 games we shouldn't have. We lost by 4 points, whatever. But don't have us thinking here that Notre Dame's ahead and then flipping them on the last weekend. That's my problem. Real soulless and gutless from the committee if that were that.
Oh.
Just saying.
Oh my goodness, that was hot.
It ain't hot. I wouldn't be the only guy.
No, I mean like attractive.
You think that Eagles offense coordinator got egged. Don't let his head in the chair think he's not gonna get egged sometime. All right. Trevor, do you want to know what we all did last week?
Yes, yeah.
So Jerry went 5-3, you went 5-3, I went 6-2.
Wow.
So we did pretty well last week. We all did. On the season, Jerry's 49-44. You are 52-53.
I was way below.
And I'm 60-45.
I'm happy with that. I was way below, and I have to have a good week. I would love to get above 500.
Yeah, I mean, look, 60-45 for me. I'm dominant. My dog is going crazy upstairs. Who knows what's going on? What do you say? Say it with your chest, Caleb. Might have to clip it and send it to committee so they don't. Yeah, I mean, look, they're gutless, they're heartless if they do that. There's no doubt about that. I mean, if you're gonna have Notre Dame be ahead and then on the last day change it, that's on you, dog. That you have to live with that, not me. All right, now we move on to our conference championship games. We have 5 that we'll talk about here. There is if Duke wins, James Madison could get in. So that conference championship game means something. It's just James Madison's 23.5-point favorites. We get their coaches leaving for another job, but if they lost, that'd be crazy. I just don't maybe expect it, so we won't talk about it, but it could happen. So we start with the American, which is basically win and you're in.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where it's at. This is the game where both coaches are leaving at some point after the season. Number 24, North Texas, 11-1 at number 20, Tulane, 10-2. The American does whoever is like basically the higher ranked in conference standings, you play at that person's place, so they don't
Okay.
have like a middle ground place where they play. 8 p.m. on Friday night on ABC. North Texas is 2.5-point favorite.
And who did Gerald go with?
Jerry went with Tulane.
Ooh, I mean, so this one, North Texas offense has been unreal this season. You know, they play the American or whatever. I'm going to go with North Texas. I think their offense, I think it might be too much for, Tulane to handle.
Yeah, I mean, the distraction, of course, for Tulane is, I mean, they're both losing their coaches. They're both,
Yeah.
Eric Morris is going to Oklahoma State. John Summerall is going to Florida from Tulane. But the Tulane one is much bigger distraction because you're going from Tulane to Florida.
Yeah.
You had the press conference, you had the pomp, the circumstance, getting off the plane, the gator chomps, everything's going crazy. It's just kind of this thing. People are like, oh, man, this guy's, hot. He's doing greatness, I think Tulane's quarterback is going to be the deciding factor, the kid that got kicked out of BYU, going up against the freshman for North Texas. So I'm going to go Tulane here. I think Tulane wins it, and I think that the Green Wave is going to the playoff.
Whoa.
All right, this is the ACC championship. This is disgusting. Duke 7-5 versus number 17 Virginia, who are 10-2. This game's played where the Panthers play. They're in Charlotte. 8 p.m. on ABC. Virginia is a 3.5-point favorite. Over/unders 57.5. Duke is plus 140 money line. Basically, if Virginia wins, they'll be in the playoff. If Duke wins, clear the path for James Madison. Jerry went with Virginia.
I am also going to go with Virginia. I'm not too high on either of these teams, but Virginia did whoop on Duke not that long ago. So I'm going to
I mean, I would love for Duke to win this game because I think it'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Just be like no team from the ACC potentially could get in.
Oh, yeah, that would be crazy.
It would be nuts. But I think Virginia's going to win it. I said when we did our halfway through the season award stuff, I thought Tony Elliott was coach of the year. He's done a hell of a job. 10-2, getting Virginia to the ACC championship and maybe the playoff is amazing.
Yeah.
So a lot going on there. So I'm also going to go with Virginia. If Duke won, that would be
awesome. I want Duke to win now that you said that.
It would be gross. All right, the Big 12 championship game. Another win and you're in. BYU, number 11 BYU, 11-1 versus number 4 Texas Tech, who's also 11-1. This is playing at Jerry's World in Dallas. Noon on ABC. Texas Tech's a big favorite, 12.5-point favorite. Over/unders 49.5. BYU's plus 410 money line. This is a rematch from about a month ago. When they played at Texas Tech, it was 29-7. Texas Tech over BYU. Basically BYU's argument: if you win, you don't have to argue. You're in.
Yeah.
Jerry went with Texas Tech.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think
your boys on BYU.
I know, but I have to think about my record. And this just brings up the can of worms again. That's like BYU will end the season with 2 losses, both to the same team, and that team is number 4 in the country.
Potentially higher, depending on what happens.
Yeah. So I think that Texas Tech is going to win. But I don't think it'll be like it was last time. I think it'll be maybe lower scoring, closer, but I think Texas Tech will pull it out in the end.
Yeah, I think this game's gonna be close. I feel like every Big 12 championship game has been super. I gotta look it up. I feel like every one has come down to like a final play. Like I just feel like they've always come down to that when you think about it.
Yeah.
Results. All right, here we go. So last year was a blowout. Other than last year, the last 2 years have been blowouts. I don't think we're here for that. I think we're here for the wackiness that has been of 2022, where it went to overtime, 31-28.
Oh my gosh.
2021, 21-16.
One possession game, yeah.
2020, 27-21. 2019, 30-23. I think we're back. We're on a roll here for some close games. It feels like there's 2 years where there's blowouts and then it goes back to close games. So I think this one's gonna be close. I think BYU. If you would have told me, hey, Kalani Sitake's going to Penn State, BYU's done. I wouldn't even have him in this.
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna come play. They believe they're better. They are better than when they played Texas Tech the last time. Texas Tech has to do it again. Beating a team twice is hard in one season. But I think Texas Tech is going to do it. I just think it's a closer game than the last time. And it's going to have everybody being like, oh my gosh, like what's going to happen? Like who knows what's going to happen in the playoffs with all that. But look, I have to be the biggest Texas Tech Red Raider fan there is this week. I have to.
Yeah.
If they don't win, then my team doesn't have a chance.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is exciting. I'm excited.
All right, we'll talk about the big one last, unlike some networks. The SEC championship game, College Game Day is going to be there. You think, oh yeah, of course, College Game Day is going to be there. What if I told you this is number 9 Alabama 10-2 versus number 3 Georgia's 11-1? Georgia's only loss is to Alabama.
Yeah,
Georgia played in the stadium they're playing in this week. Last week, this is their home away from home. They won the SEC last year. I mean, this is what they do. Georgia, game's at 4 p.m. on ABC. Georgia's a 2.5-point favorite. Over-under's 47.5. Bama is plus 114 money line. Rematch of the this rematch was from late September. So they haven't played in a long time. That game was 24-21 at Georgia.
Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer has kind of been the Kirby Smart stopper. He's 2-0 against him. Jerry went with Alabama. Of course, Jerry's going to ride with Alabama. He picked them to win the national title.
I am not going to go with Alabama. I am going to go with Georgia. I think Georgia is significantly better than they were when they lost to Alabama in September. I really like Georgia. I think this is going to be maybe outside of Ohio State the team to beat. I really like Georgia right now. I think they're significantly better. So yeah, give me the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Georgia as well. So I go back to after Georgia Alabama played. I said if Kirby would have kicked a field goal instead of going for a 4th down, that was the worst 4th down I've ever seen in my life. They probably win that game.
Yeah.
I think they're better now. They have a better understanding for their team. Their defense is playing much better. They're not gonna like score a million points, but they're not gonna let you score. And I think this is turning into a Kirby Smart team that he likes, that he knows. Yep. And what else? Nobody's talking about Georgia. Yet again, when nobody talks about Georgia, that's the time to ride with Georgia.
Yeah.
When everybody's forgotten about him and all this and that. I'm not saying this is going to be a blowout, but I think he's finally going to beat Kalen DeBoer. And I think he's going to be like, hey, like we should go in to the playoff, the number 2 ranked team in the country.
Yeah.
And we're going to stake our claim for it, and we're going to get – if they hadn't played already, maybe different. But with them playing in Alabama against Auburn, I get it was Auburn, the Iron Bowl, a little shaky, but I think Georgia, they're ready to play. All right, and we have the big one. Maybe the most least talked about 1 versus 2 matchup in the history of college football. Number 1, Ohio State, 12-0 versus number 2, Indiana, who's also 12-0. This game's 8 p.m. on Fox. Ohio State's a 4-point favorite. That shows you something right there, what people think about Indiana in Vegas. Over-under is 47.5. IU is plus 164 money line. Indiana has a chance to shock people and prove to them that they are legit. This is a big one. Jerry went with Ohio State.
Oh, man, this is a game that I've been really excited for a while now. I think the part that is hard is that Indiana has only really played like one super impressive team, which is Oregon, which they beat. I don't think Indiana has been tested enough. Now, Ohio State isn't the most tested team in the country either. That's kind of how the Big Ten goes sometimes. But they had a good game against Michigan last weekend. I think Ohio State is a really, really good team. I think Indiana, I don't even see it really being that close. I honestly think that. I think, this could be like 10 plus points. That's crazy, but I'm going to go with Ohio State.
but to win by 2 possessions.
Yeah, I mean, look, Indiana they're much improved from last year. I will say
Yeah.
that. Much improved, way better team. Fernando Mendoza has made them better. They got past Oregon. That was a big win on the road, 10+ win. You come into this game, Ohio State finally gets the monkey off their back of beating Michigan again, the first time they've been into the Big Ten championship game since 2019. So I think they have some extra motivation there. They have guys on their team that have never won the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Which is big. And you can say the same thing for Indiana, but for Ohio State, it's like you beat Michigan, you win the Big Ten, you win the national title. Like those are the 3 steps. That's what you do. So looking at this game, I think you go into it all. I think Indiana plays tough. I think they play hard. I think it's close to maybe about the 4th quarter. I think it's like a touchdown game. I think Ohio State wins it. I don't know. It's just their defense.
Yeah.
Their defense is really good. Matt Patricia, I didn't know what to expect nobody knew what to expect when he got the job. It was like Matt Patricia, like the guy that has the pencil on his side of the head. Last time we seen him coach, he was with the Lions and he was terrible. Like, what's going on with this guy? But he's got players all over the field. He's got good linebackers. He's got Caleb Downs. Their defensive line's pretty solid. I know Michigan doesn't have much of an offense, but they made them look pretty pedestrian. Not saying they're going to do that to Indiana, but, Indiana got punched in the mouth once this year as Penn State. You get punched in the mouth against Ohio State, it's much different.
Yeah.
And I just think playing indoors, Julian saying with those wide receivers, they were able to run the ball effectively, which I hadn't seen in a long time, especially under Ryan Day. It was very surprising to me. So I'm going to go with Ohio State. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be an exciting weekend. All the games, really have something to play for or have a stake in the playoff for the most part, which is fun. Even though we believe Alabama losing no matter what keeps them in the playoff. I mean, if they were to get blown out or, someone brought up, I was listening to Chris Mad Dog Russo, he brought up, what if Ty Simpson gets hurt early in the game? They don't look as good and they end up losing and he can't play in the playoff. Do you then keep them out? Kind of like the whole Florida State thing.
Oh my gosh, man.
So
this is going to be crazy. I'm so excited to see what this does Sunday. How this changes things on Sunday. I think it's going to be crazy.
I mean, we never really know. I mean, anything can really happen at this point. So looking back at the picks, we all picked Ohio State. Me and you picked Georgia. Jerry picked Alabama. We all picked Texas Tech. We all picked Virginia. Me and Jerry went Tulane. You went with North Texas. I mean, it's another fun week here. It's another fun week. Here we go. We have some comments here from Vincent. Screwed. What's their best win? USC. Navy. Those are 2 quality wins. Navy's better than most. If Notre Dame won their conference championship, it'd be automatic. Oh, wait. Oh, nobody cares. We don't need a conference. I mean, the fact that we're in this discussion without a conference is a testament to itself. They hate us because they ain't us. It's fine. Now, I did say that I don't think Notre Dame makes the playoff, and I respect that decision, but I think it'd be cowardlessly to do it at the last day of the year. And now that is what I said.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I mean, conference. Miami, oh, wait, they're in a conference. They're not even in their conference championship game.
Yeah.
Wait, how's that work?
Ole Miss, Oklahoma.
Well, I mean, yeah, it happens. I mean, it happens. But, that's where the argument for Notre Dame not in the conference championship is so funny because Miami had a chance, and they're not in it because they lost twice in that conference.
Yeah. And now we have, 6-5 Duke in the conference
7-5. 7-5. 7-5. Get it right.
Sorry.
And the guy who coaches Duke was fired by Miami, and he's made it to a conference championship before their current coach.
Oh, my gosh, man.
I mean, look, people they want to do it, but, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. get into your conference championship game if you're in a conference. Wait, you're not. I will say the 1 year Notre Dame was in a conference, which was COVID. They were in the ACC. We made the ACC championship game.
It's true.
I mean, what more do people want from us? We play an ACC schedule, kind of. I think we play six or 7 games with the ACC. We lost one of those, so we still have less ACC losses than Miami. I mean, the argument is just whatever, but people hate on Navy. Navy would beat a majority of the teams that they played, honestly, just based off of different things. I mean, didn't they beat Oklahoma in the – they beat Oklahoma in the bowl game last year, and Oklahoma's going to be in the playoff.
Dude, that I know I wasn't here Sunday, but that Texas A&M game was
nuts.
Crazy, dude.
It was nuts.
That was crazy. That might have been the craziest game I've seen. Oregon, Indiana was pretty crazy. Oklahoma, Alabama was pretty crazy, but that Texas A&M game, bro, that was insane.
And that could be a thing too, and I would understand this is if you discrete Notre Dame based off of that loss, right? Because your thought process is if Texas A&M wins that game, they go to the SEC championship. Say they go 13-0, they win the SEC. Notre Dame would have then lost by 1 point to the best team in the SEC. I think their argument is stronger. If that's the case, because it's not that they lost by 1 point because of something that happened. They lost by 1 point because Tyler Buckner botched a snap.
Right.
On the PAT. So I think that, if they would have said that, like, hey, we thought Alabama's gutsy win in the Iron Bowl, which is a tough place to play for them, historically going to Auburn. Auburn's not very good, but we respect that. They're the SEC. We view them as the best conference. Texas A&M losing kind of diminished Notre Dame's resume a little bit, so we thought then it was now time. That would have been way better.
Yeah.
But they're like, they beat Auburn, who's I think 5-7 and like 1-7 in the SEC. So you're telling me that if Oregon, say they played Washington was 5-7, and had to score on a 4th down to go up by a touchdown at Washington, you think they'd count that as the same? They wouldn't.
Right.
They would have moved Oregon down.
Yeah.
Oklahoma barely beat LSU. Their quarterback threw 3 interceptions, and they're still 8th in the country.
Yeah.
Come on. We're going to talk about bias? Come on. Could go on for days. Anything else? We have to figure out Sunday because I'll be in Green Bay. I'm thinking maybe earlier, like right after the rankings come out.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll go like real quick, kind of talk about it, and then that'll just be the show.
Yep, that's cool with me. Or, I mean, we can always move it to Monday or something, too.
Yeah, we could do that, too. We'll figure it out, because I'll be coming back Monday. I don't know what time yet, so that could also be right there. Oh, here's my guy, Ben. Yeah, Ben's going to be in Green Bay with me as well. So
let's go.
It's going to be fun. If you would have told me when I heard about this, when I got asked Halloween weekend a month ago, that when I was going to this game, that the Bears would be not only number 1 in the NFC North, but number 1 in the NFC.
Yeah.
I would have been like, I don't believe you. But if we were to win, I'm going in excited. I'm just grateful for where we're at. I'm excited to be able to go to a Green Bay, Chicago game, going to the first Bears game. I'm getting Green Bay weather. It's going to be like 15 degrees.
Oh, boy.
Cold.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the full
You're
element.
getting the full treatment, dude.
I'm getting everything. I'm getting it all. If we win that game, I may be Ben Johnson in the stands, taking my shirt off, going nuts.
So is our boy Ben, is he a Bears fan too, or Green Bay guy, or?
I think Ben might be a Lions fan, maybe.
Okay.
He's kind of marrying into the Packers family here.
I got you.
This is kind, he's kind of marrying into the family here.
Okay.
Ben isn't ever been to Lambeau. I've never been to Lambeau. I've
neither
never
have
been
I.
to a NFL game. I've never done it all. I've heard that is basically like going to a Notre Dame game in the NFL. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, I mean, look, the Packers and Notre Dame do have a lot of connections with each other. Curly Lambeau played for Newt Rockne at Notre Dame.
Whoa.
So the stadium is kind of based off Notre Dame, and the original colors were based off Notre Dame colors. And I hate them,
Wow.
so it's just funny. I picked the team in Chicago.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, look, I'm excited for it. But, yeah, so – yeah, so he's
a Lions guy. That's cool.
He's just marrying into a Packers fan.
That's fair. Yeah, that happens.
But yeah, no, so excited. We'll see. Sunday was the big day, of course, for the rankings. So figure out what teams left out. BYU wins. Committee's like, thank you. Thank you. Your job easy. We'll see how it goes. So I don't know. Like I said, my expectation is for Miami to jump Notre Dame. What do you think?
I don't. I think I agree with what we were saying earlier. I think it's kind of stupid and gutless, like you said. I
said, of course.
To put Notre Dame in front of Miami all these weeks and then at the last day flip it. I don't think the committee's going to do that. I think that the rankings are released every week to kind of tell us, what's happening in the world or what, so I trust that Notre Dame will get in unless BYU wins.
Yeah.
I trust that there's a reason that Notre Dame has been ranked ahead of them for so long.
We will see. We've got a roll tide here. There we go. Roll tide. We'll see as they go against the Dogs. But yeah, no, we'll be back. We appreciate everybody jumping in here and watching, commenting. We appreciate it. We'll be back either Sunday or Monday. We'll figure that out. Jerry will be back with us. We'll break it all down and figure out. Then we'll know the playoff. We'll know what's going to go on in 2 weeks when that all happens and breaks down. I mean, this is the fun time. This is the time you want to be around. This is the time you want to be watching. It all matters. Every game this weekend has to do something for the playoff, which is fun. Couldn't ask for anything else.
Do you remember in the middle of the summer we were talking about Joey Chestnut?
Yeah. Look at us now.
Dogs, and now look at us.
Look at us now.
We've climbed to the mountaintop.
Now we're under a foot of snow just talking football.
That's right, dude. That's so true.
It keeps snowing, and I'm over it.
Oh, dude, I got a snow day Monday. It was electric.
Yeah, well, I'm over it. It's snowing today. More snow. Done with it. Over it.
It's supposed to be freezing Friday.
Yeah, no, I'll be in Lambeau. Okay, I'll be in the north. That's where I'll be. Hey, this is what you do, Midwest. Voice of the North here. I mean, this is what I have to do. Yeah. But no, we appreciate it. Everybody tuning in, and as always, thanks for watching.
Peace.